My little brother and I suddenly got two systems. One was a system that magnified things by 100 times and the other was a system that made things 100 times smaller. My little brother laughingly chose the system that made things smaller, while I was left with the remaining system. But just 3 days later, the rainy apocalypse arrived. Everyone got stuck in their homes and resources became the biggest problem. With the help of my enlarging system, I increased the little supplies at home by 100 times. We used them very sparingly and finally, my brother and I survived this difficult time. But as soon as the rain stopped, my younger brother pushed me off a tall building. He angrily said if you hadn't taken my enlarging system, I would have used it to increase supplies and save Lu's sister and her entire family. You are good in every matter, just very selfish. Then I got a chance to live again. This time my younger brother chose the enlarging system before me. That's when I realized he also got a rebirth. I smiled. I used the shrinking system to shrink food that would last for 5 years and shrank myself too. In this way, I disappeared from everyone's sight. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the same day when we had to choose the system. The system said, both of you choose your respective systems. My younger brother immediately said, I want the enlarging system. The system said, the system is now bound with you. My brother said happily, now the enlarging system is mine. At that moment, I fully understood that I had truly been reborn and returned to the same day we chose the system. Since you love your sister Lu more than me and don't value the brother who saved your life, this time I won't help you at all. I choose the shrinking system. The system said, alright, the system is bound. My little brother immediately started testing his new system. He made a small cup 100 times bigger. The small cup quickly turned into a giant cup. He shouted with joy, this is really the enlarging system. Side focus Obadiah now. My. Seeing him, I started laughing. This was the younger brother for whom I'd risked everything in my past life. In the past life, there was a sudden rain apocalypse. Everyone was trapped in their homes and there was very little food and drink. But in my house, there were some boxes of instant noodles and bread. I used the enlarging system to make them 100 times bigger and somehow we survived for 5 whole years. During that time, my younger brother's childhood friend Liu Yao lived in the house across the street. My younger brother repeatedly asked me to enlarge food for their family too, but I refused, saying that humans cannot be trusted in an apocalypse. Without my help, Liu Yao's family didn't survive 5 years and died of hunger long ago. I survived the apocalypse but was ultimately killed by the same younger brother for whom I had done everything. It's really ironic. My brother smiled and said, brother, now the enlarging system is mine. Aren't you jealous of me? In the end, I can enlarge whatever I want. While you only have a system that can shrink, I calmly said, what difference does it make? It's just a system. If you like it, you can keep it. I don't care. When he saw that I had no interest in the system that enlarges, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. But I knew very well that this time he would definitely go to save the family across. And as soon as someone found out about his system, it would be impossible for him to stay safe in the apocalypse because everyone would want to seize that system. My brother thought that since he had the system that enlarges, there would be no shortage of food. This is why he was not afraid of the upcoming rainy apocalypse at all. Rather, he was waiting for it so that in case of food shortage, he could become a hero and save Liu Yao and her family, and Liu Yao would fall in love with him. I always thought he just liked Liu Yao, but now I understand that he was completely in love. My brother said, brother, if I save Liu Yao and her family, will she fall in love with me? I replied, no, absolutely not. He immediately said, that can't be. Sister Lu will definitely love me. Then he asked, brother, tell me honestly, do you also like Sister Lu? But you are 2 years older than her, so don't even think about her. I didn't respond to him. I just took out my mobile and started online shopping for the things I needed. Because I had once been beaten by my own younger brother and was never going to repeat that mistake again. Then my brother said, brother, do you have some money? Lend me a few 100,000 rupees, I need to buy some food. I said, no, I just bought a new fridge and all my money is gone. He said in surprise, why did you buy a fridge? I replied, what happened? Can't I buy a new fridge? Why are you so shocked? He quickly said, no, it's not like that, I was just curious. Then he asked, brother, I remember there was still some food left in your room. I said, I have donated all that to the elderly living alone in the society. After all, their life wasn't easy either. But I never expected that even after getting a second chance at life, my younger brother would not only achieve the system he wanted to grow up with, but also give away my last remaining food to others. It was clear that he wanted me to starve. If I hadn't received Rebirth and the system, surviving this time's rainy apocalypse would have been absolutely impossible for me. Seeing the mocking smile on his face, my hatred for him grew even more. I always felt that I fulfilled every responsibility for my younger brother. Our parents died when we were children. As the elder brother, I took on the responsibility of both mother and father. I left my studies at a very young age so that my brother could study. His numbers were never good, but I never scolded him. His pocket money was always much more than other kids his age and he would spend all the money I used to earn by working hard day and night. Later, he couldn't even get admission to college, while I had bought a house in the city through my hard work. So, I brought him to the city to live with me. But I had no idea that his childhood friend Liu Yao lived in the house opposite ours. In childhood, they always played together. Later, Liu Yao's family received a lot of money as demolition compensation and they left the village and moved to this city. As soon as my younger brother saw the beautiful Liu Yao again, he fell in love with her right away and started pursuing her. Even in the past life when I refused to help her family during the apocalypse, my brothers secretly delivered our food to their house in my absence. I couldn't do anything and in the end I was forced to lock the door from the inside so that no one could come and steal our belongings. That's when I realized that in my younger brother's eyes I had no value. A girl who never did anything for him was more important than me. At that moment I was completely disappointed with my younger brother. I told him, "I'm feeling a bit tired, I'll go to sleep, you should also sleep early." Saying this, I went to my room and started planning a safe hiding place for myself. I also bought a wind power generator so that I would have a continuous power supply even during heavy rain and storms. I had already bought everything I needed, now I just had to wait for the right time. On the other hand, my younger brother was so confident in his backup system that he wasn't worried about anything. He bought some food worth a few hundred rupees with his pocket money and secretly locked it in his room as if he was afraid I would steal his stuff. I decided that I would not stay in this house at all, because if I hid here, sooner or later they would find me. That's why I chose another place. When I was getting this house renovated, I had a very small secret room built according to my own design. I have never told my younger brother about this place until today. That room was only as small as a tiny toilet, but despite being small, it was going to be the safest safe house for me. The door of that room was controlled only by my mobile. That's why I wasn't afraid at all that my brother would find it, and even if he did, he wouldn't be able to open it. Besides, I went several kilometers away to a deserted land and used my small processing system to break down a lot of soil and brought it along so that later, with the help of that soil and seeds, I could grow my own vegetables. I also shrunk several trees and kept them with me. Shortly after, all the food items, furniture, and other necessary things I ordered arrived. At that time, only one day was left for the Iranian apocalypse to come. I had set the delivery address to my old village house. That village had been deserted long ago and no one lived there anymore. I filled that house with furniture, electric appliances, food, and various essential items. Then, with no one around, I used my shrinking system to shrink all those things and packed them into pre-prepared boxes. Finally, I thought for a bit and shrank my old small house and brought it with me. Even though it was old, after a bit of repair, it would be very useful in the future. When the night deepened, I brought everything back to the city and stored them in my secret room. These days, my little brother was extremely excited. He was completely sure that he had prepared for everything. That's why he paid no attention to my activities. I had already installed an air filter system in my secret room, so there was no worry about running out of oxygen even after staying inside for many years. I didn't reduce the size of the 5 large water bottles but poured their water into a small tank so that it would become my water source in the future. There was also a light in the room and I could control its switch with my mobile. After working hard all night, my secret room had completely transformed. Inside my secret room there was now a small farm. The very faint sounds of tiny chicks could barely be heard as they bent down among the grass searching for insects. Outside the farm was my small house, equipped with all kinds of home appliances. Now, finally, I could wait for the rainy apocalypse with complete peace of mind. In the last half day, my little brother went to Liu Yao's house again. It seemed like Liu Yao's family didn't like him at all, but he didn't care about their opinion. He went straight into Liu Yao's room. At that moment, Liu Yao's parents started talking. The boy from the house opposite is absolutely shameless. He's grown up, yet he keeps entering our daughter's room every day. The other woman said, "I think you're going to get a son-in-law soon." To this, Liu Yao's mother laughed and said, "Son-in-law? He didn't even get admission to college. He's over 20 years old and still doesn't have a decent job. He stays at home every day and lives off his older brother's money. Even in this condition, he dreams of marrying my daughter." Absolutely not. My daughter is beautiful, educated, and has a good job. He's not worthy of her. I heard their conversation but pretended as if I didn't hear anything. At that time, only 1 hour was left for the rain apocalypse to begin. I called my younger brother and said something at the company, but some urgent work has come up. I will work overtime tonight, so I won't come home. He replied carelessly. All right, I will stay alone tonight. I already knew he wouldn't say a word to warn me. Anyway, I called him just so he would think I really left the house. After that, I opened the secret room door with my mobile, went inside, and closed the door. Then I used the shrinking system once again. But this time, I didn't shrink any object. I shrank myself. In just a few moments, I felt dizzy, and my body completely shrunk. The secret room, which used to seem very small, now appeared to me like a large hall. I took the risk of shrinking myself because in my past life, I had seen that everything enlarged by the enlarging system returned to its original size after the rain stopped. So I guess that the same would happen with the shrinking system. When the rain ends, the system will lose its effect and everything will return to its original size. Seeing the green ground, trees, small farm and small house in front of me gave my heart a unique peace. Now I had no worries about the rain. When my little brother was not at home, I installed invisible cameras inside the house and in the corridor outside so that I could see every small and big movement inside and outside the house from my mobile. For extra safety, I also installed a camera outside Liu Yao's house. The quality of those cameras was so good that not only was the video clear but even the slightest sound could be heard clearly. After completing all the preparations, I put the mobile in my pocket, lifted the hoe on my shoulder and went towards my land. I carefully plowed the field, then sowed seeds, added fertilizer and watered it. Meanwhile, small chicks came near my feet and started pecking. I gently moved them aside and opened a packet of chicken feed to feed them. From my mobile, I found out that heavy rain had started outside. This rain was not going to stop. On social media, people were constantly complaining that due to the heavy rain, they were unable to go to work. Now my only connection to the outside world was through my mobile, computer and tablet. Several days passed in the blink of an eye, but the rain showed no signs of stopping, and the situation was getting worse. Due to the continuous rain in the city, traffic had come to a complete standstill, and it had become almost impossible for people to commute. My younger brother was not at all surprised by my disappearance. Perhaps he thought I had drowned in the flood. These days I was plowing fields, growing vegetables and feeding chicks on my small farm. The only problem was that the little chicks kept eating the seedlings of my newly grown vegetables. One day, in my free time, I opened the live feed of the camera and saw that my younger brother had brought Liu Yao to my house. They were both sitting in the drawing room. My brother said, "Liu Didi, do you still have food left in your house?" Liu Yao sighed and said, "Very little. I wish I had stocked up more earlier. Now the water has reached the first floor and I can't even stay there." Then she asked, "Yang, do you still have food in your house? If you have some, please give us a little too. At my house there are my mom, dad and my little brother. The little food we have is not enough for the whole family." My little brother smiled and said, "I have an enlarging system. I can enlarge any food 100 times. Liu Yao said in surprise, "Really? How is that possible?" My brother said, "If you don't believe it, see for yourself." He immediately showed how to enlarge the food. Liu Yao's eyes lit up. She said happily, Yang, it's good that you're here. Then please enlarge all the food in our house too." My brother said, "Okay, but I have a small request." Liu Yao smiled and said, "Tell me." My brother blushing said, "You know that I like you. Now that I have been able to save your entire family, can you love me too?" And yeah, Liu Yao laughed and said, "What are you talking about? Aren't we already together? We've been childhood friends since we were kids. Now I like you too. As soon as this rain stops, I will marry you." Hearing this, my little brother jumped with joy. He said, "I knew it, Liu sister, you love me too." My big brother said, "You would never like me. He's just jealous of me." Then Liu Yao asked, "By the way, where is your big brother?" My brother casually said, "He was saying he would do overtime at the company. It's been raining for so many days now. I think he might have died in the flood." Hearing this, a strange expression appeared on Liu Yao's face for a moment, but the next moment she lovingly coaxed my little brother and convinced him to take out all the food kept in his room. Seeing all this on camera, I felt a strange feeling. How did I end up raising such a foolish little brother? Not only foolish but so cruel, as if he truly wished for his own big brother to die. But now it didn't matter to me. I was safe here in my secret room and no one knew about my hiding place. I just had to live peacefully in my little world. I went back to my small home, made hot pot for himself, then took out a cold drink from the fridge and started enjoying dinner comfortably. While eating, I took his photo and posted it on social media. I wrote the caption, "There's a strong storm and rain outside, but the joy of eating hot pot inside is something else." As soon as I posted, my younger brother immediately commented, "Brother, where are you?" Just commenting wasn't enough for him. He also sent me several messages. "Brother, it's raining so heavily outside. Are you okay? Where are you? You're eating hot pot too. I'm craving it as well. Please tell me where you are. I can't go outside. Bring me some food." I didn't reply to any of his many messages. I just took another photo of the cold drink I just had and sent it to him with the caption, "The cold drink is also very tasty and the hot pot is still steaming hot." As soon as he saw this, he immediately called me. He said anxiously, "Brother, how are you eating hot pot? Please bring some for me too. I've been living on just bread for days." In a calm voice, I said, "I'm still with the company. This is from the hot pot company. It's raining so much outside that I can't return home. Eat whatever's at home." He immediately said, "No, brother, the bread at home doesn't seem good at all. I also feel like eating hot pot." He wanted to say something more, but I hung up without saying anything. Then I opened the live feed of the camera and saw that my little brother was glaring angrily at his mobile. There was no trace left of that innocent and obedient little brother on his face. It must not have been easy for him to pretend to be good all these years. I calmly picked up my tablet and started watching drama. I had already downloaded hundreds of novels, anime and TV series in it so that I could easily pass the time on boring days. After eating and resting, I lay down on my bed. After a while, I casually picked up my mobile, opened the camera app, and switched the view to the camera outside Liu Yao's house. A voice was coming from inside saying, "Yang is amazing. Now there will be no shortage of food and drink in our house. Truly, we have found a treasure." It was clear that now their entire family knew about my little brother's growth system. My little brother smiled and said, "Auntie, being able to help you is my greatest joy. After all, we are all going to become one family in the future." Hearing this, there was silence for a moment. Then Liu Yao's parents immediately smiled and said, "Absolutely right. If it weren't for Yang, where would we get so much food? Our daughter being with you is your good fortune. We liked you a lot from the beginning." Hearing so much praise, my little brother was completely swept away in happiness and couldn't understand anything. I chuckled coldly and turned off the camera. I knew Liu Yao's family much better than they did. When they received a lot of money as demolition compensation for their house, they started walking around the village with pride. They insulted and drove away their old relatives and friends. They always felt that anyone who came to them was only after their money. Almost everyone in the village said that their arrogance knew no bounds. Even once when the village head went to their house to ask for water, they refused him. I never trusted that such people would maintain a true relationship with my younger brother, and Liu Yao herself was very arrogant since childhood. She had mocked my younger brother many times, both to his face and behind his back. She never truly considered him her equal, but now I didn't care about any of this. After all, I was living in my secret room 100 times smaller. A little while later, my younger brother called. He said happily, "Brother, I have some good news to tell you. Liu Yao and I are now in a relationship." I asked in a calm voice, "Why did you call me?" "Weva de borilad der I am." At the same time, the chicks on my farm had grown a bit bigger, but they were still constantly chirping and snatching food from each other. My brother suddenly said, "Brother, why do I hear chicken sounds from your side?" I said, "Because I am feeding them." He asked in surprise, "Where did you get chickens in such heavy rain?" I didn't give a direct answer to his question. Anyway, I had already bought a lot of meat and stored it in the freezer, which was going to last me a long time. My brother asked anxiously, "Brother, where exactly are you? You're having hot pot there, raising chickens too. Hasn't the rain affected you at all?" I replied, "No, there has been no effect of the rain here." Hearing this, he quickly said, "Then quickly tell me where you are. I'll bring Liu Yao and his whole family there." I laughed and said, "If you can find it, then find it yourself." He angrily said, "What does this mean? Do you not want to let us come to you?" Since childhood, I had always listened to my younger brother. Perhaps for the first time, I spoke to him in such a cold and sarcastic tone. I gently moved one wandering on the path aside and headed back to my small house from the field. My fridge was already stocked with a lot of ready-to-eat food, including pizza, bao, mandu, dumplings, and various frozen foods. I turned on the fan, took out the hot pizza from the microwave. After reheating, the pizza looked golden, soft, and very delicious. The topping was stretching long. I took a photo of it and sent it to my little brother. He immediately messaged, "Brother, you have pizza too? Quickly tell me where you are." Then he angrily wrote, "Brother, you are very selfish. I'm surviving here on dry bread and instant noodles, and you are eating pizza there. This pizza looks very delicious. The cheese on top is also stretching, but no worries, no matter how much food you have, it will run out one day. Your shrinking system is useless. My enlarging system can make all your food 100 times bigger. Then we can eat comfortably for many years. Quickly tell me where you are. I will come to you right now." I just replied, "If you can find me, then come." After this, I turned on the camera. My younger brother was angrily breaking everything in my old room. It wasn't long before the news about his enlarging system spread quickly throughout the society. It wasn't hard to guess who spread this news. His room's door started being knocked repeatedly. All the people from the society began bringing whatever little food they had left to him and started requesting him to enlarge their food 100 times with his system. At first, my little brother got a bit nervous. He was trying to show that he didn't have any system. But then the whole family of Liu Yao came out from the house in front. Liu Yao's father said in a loud voice, "Listen, Yang is our future son-in-law. If you want to use their system, you will need to get our permission first, and every time this system is used, it consumes a lot of their energy, so you will have to pay." At first, my little brother was upset that Liu Yao's family revealed the secret of his system to everyone, but as soon as he heard about taking money, his face lit up. Liu Yao immediately said, "Absolutely, Yang is my boyfriend. If you want him to work, you will have to pay." After this, Liu Yao's entire family started doing business, relying on my younger brother's system. Anyone who came to enlarge their food, Liu Yao's family would first charge them 2,000 yuan. 2,000 yuan was not a small amount, but in the apocalypse, food could not be bought with money. That's why people found this deal reasonable. I was watching through the camera that the number of people coming to my younger brother was increasing every day. People were fully convinced that as long as he had the enlarging system, they would never die of hunger. But they all forgot one very important thing. The system could only enlarge food, but there had to be food in the first place, and the system could only be used on any item once. It was impossible to eat half the food and then enlarge the remaining half again and keep increasing it infinitely. In no time, 3 whole years passed. In these 3 years, not a single person in society died of hunger because everyone depended on my younger brother's system. Gradually, everyone became careless and indulged in eating and drinking without any worry, but at the end of the 3rd year, the real crisis began. The food in every house was almost finished. Even after enlarging, the food was not enough for everyone. Resources had become very scarce, and the enlarging system was no longer as beneficial as before. There was chaos everywhere in society. People started fighting among themselves for food. Every day there were quarrels and brawls. During this time, my younger brother had completely moved into Liu Yao's house and started considering himself a part of that family. Listening to the camera recordings, I found out that Liu Yao's family also realized that the number of people coming to use this system had significantly decreased. This meant that not much money could be made from this business anymore. On the other hand, my younger brother was living in their house, eating their food, and had become a burden on them. That's why the whole family planned to kick him out of the house. First, Liu Yao told him, "I don't love you, we have broken up." Hearing this, my younger brother was devastated. He kept trying, pleading, and clinging to them, but Liu Yao's entire family pushed him out of the house. In the apocalypse, no one cared about who loved whom. Every person was only thinking about their own benefit. My younger brother sat outside their house all day, crying and shouting. After 1 day and 1 night passed, he returned to my house embarrassed. But by then, Liu Yao's family had emptied all the belongings from my house. Even the food my younger brother had collected had been taken to their house. Now my house was left as just an empty shell. My little brother went to their house several times to ask for his belongings back, but in return he only received insults. No one even tried to return a single grain to him. That's when he truly started to feel scared. And what was I doing at that time? I was living my life comfortably on my small farm. When I got hungry, I would pick fresh vegetables from the field, get some meat, and cook a delicious meal. If I didn't feel like cooking, I would quickly heat up ready-to-eat food from the fridge. In my free time, I would make a cold drink for myself. Every morning, the first thing I did was feed the chicks, then make my breakfast, and after that, I would go to my farm to look at the green vegetables, potatoes, eggplants, tomatoes, corn, and other crops growing there. If I felt sleepy in the afternoon, I would comfortably take a nap. After waking up, I would watch drama, watch anime, and spend the day eating and drinking comfortably. There was only one task that was a bit difficult. In my small farm, there were no insects, so I had to pollinate each flower and plant by hand. 3 years had passed. For me, all these things were now just minor problems. After not hearing from me for so long, my younger brother once again gathered the courage to call me. Perhaps he thought I had long since died, but contrary to his expectation, I answered the call. He said in surprise, "Brother, you are still alive. That's great. I thought Bond had killed you." At that time, I was leisurely eating a cucumber and watching a drama on my tablet. The crunching sound of my eating was clearly audible. I calmly asked, "Why did you call?" He immediately started crying. "Brother, you don't know what Liu Yao and his family did to me. Liao kasi sao takwari samila fodara. They made a lot of money from my upbringing system. Now that no one comes to use my system, they have thrown me out of the house." Liu Yao had promised to marry me, but now he has broken up with me. His entire family only thinks about their own benefit. They ruined my life. Now there's nothing left to eat at home. I just said, okay, got it. He panicked and said, "Brother, please take me with you. If I don't get food, I will really die of hunger. Can you watch your only younger brother die?" I said in a cold voice, "No." He shouted, "Brother, you don't care about me at all. The old brother wasn't like this. Did you also get a rebirth?" I replied openly, "Yes, I did." He angrily said, "If you also got a rebirth, why didn't you tell me earlier? You also knew what kind of people Liu Yao and his family are. How can you be so selfish?" I didn't respond to his words. I just made a video of my farm. In it, my vegetables and fruits were lush and green. Chicks were running all over the farm. My small house looked very cozy. The fridge was filled with food and snacks. It didn't seem like there had been an apocalypse going on in the world outside for 3 years. That place looks like another world. As soon as I sent him the video, he went crazy with anger. He shouted, "How can you be so selfish? Do you even know how bad my condition is? Come quickly and take me away from here." I said in a cold tone, "Selfish? In the previous life, when you pushed me off the building, were you not selfish? This time you also got a rebirth. You knew in advance that the apocalypse was coming, but you never told me. Then who gave you the right to call me selfish now?" My younger brother always considered my every help as his right, but he never thought that he should also do something for me. I was no saint. "When you never considered me as your family, then I have no need to save you now," he said while crying. "Brother, I made a very big mistake. I was blinded by love for Liu Yao. Please don't leave me like this. I am your only younger brother. If I die of hunger, you will have no family left." I said without any emotion, "You can die. What difference does it make to me?" With that, I hung up the call. I could easily guess how much anger and helplessness he must be writhing in on the other side. In the camera's live feed, I would see every day that he would break things inside the house like a madman all day. Especially in my old bedroom, he had broken almost everything. But breaking things doesn't satisfy hunger. No matter how much anger he vented, he wasn't going to get even a morsel. One day, I saw him return home with some bread. The camera outside revealed that he had stolen that bread from Liu Yao's house. At that time, Liu Yao's entire family was out. Only his 6-year-old younger brother was at home. My younger brother coaxed him into opening the door and then stole all the food from their house and ran away. Seeing this scene on the camera, I burst out laughing. Surely one thief was cutting off another thief. What could be a more amusing spectacle than this? As I thought, that's exactly what happened. When Liu Yao's family returned and saw that all their food was gone, they were furious. They started kicking my door, hurling abuses, and shouting loudly, but my little brother hid inside the house like a turtle and didn't dare to come out. During the renovation, I had the main door of my house specially installed to be the strongest. That's why Liu Yao's family kept banging on the door for 3 days and 3 nights, but they couldn't harm my little brother sitting inside. Finally, Liu Yao stood outside the door and said, Yang, I made a mistake. I wronged you in anger. Don't be stubborn now. Return our food and then we can be together again. Liu Yao kept saying outside the door, Alright, everything I said before was in anger. The truth is, I still love you today. We even promised to get married, don't you remember? On the other side of the door, my younger brother was listening to her sweet words. Initially, he held back, but for 2 continuous days, Liu Yao kept apologizing to him and repeatedly promised that she would never treat him badly again. Finally, my younger brother placed his hand on the door handle and started smiling. Seeing the happiness on his face, I understood that he had fallen for her words again. What happened next was not worth seeing. As soon as he opened the door, Liu Yao's younger brother, who was hiding outside, struck him hard on the head with a heavy object. My younger brother fell to the ground in pain and writhed, holding his head. Right in front of his eyes, Liu Yao's entire family entered the house and took all the remaining food back to their home. As they left, Liu Yao's father kicked him hard on the head and angrily said, You useless person chasing after our daughter, you will never marry her. From above, you turned out to be so despicable that you stole our food. My little brother cried out in pain, That food was mine. But Liu Yao also kicked him aside and took all the stuff to her house. As she left, she spat and said, Meeting you was the biggest misfortune of my life. My little brother lay at the door of the house for 2 days straight. With great difficulty, when he regained a little strength, he got up and sat by the door, burying his head in his knees, and cried for a long time. Now he had a system to grow, but it was meaningless, because he didn't have a single grain left to grow. When he was completely broken, he called me again. Crying, he said, Brother, people have beaten me a lot. My whole body is in a lot of pain. Please come and save me. I am very hungry too. It feels like my bones are broken. If it were the old me, my heart would have broken from his pain, and I would have wanted to bear all his pain myself. But now, even hearing his cries, no emotion arose in me. I just said, You deserve this, and hung up the call. After that, I calmly went to my farm and started picking corn. Time passed slowly. My younger brother, lying outside the house, became thinner day by day. During this time, many people from society would come to him and forcibly make him increase their food. He would refuse, but after receiving a few slaps, he was forced to use the system. Finally, the last day of his life arrived. He dragged himself to the door of Liu Yao's house. There, his head tilted to one side, and he breathed his last forever. When Liu Yao opened the door and saw his corpse, he kicked it aside in disgust, as if his death didn't matter to him at all. 2 more years passed after that. Rainwater had filled several floors below, but as I had guessed in my previous life, the water never reached our floor. A few months before the rain ended, Liu Yao's entire family met their end. They were already infamous in society. On top of that, they had made a lot of money from my younger brother's system. So many people had already started to hate them. In the last months of the rain ending, almost every household's food was nearly finished. That's when someone sent a message in the society group that there was still a lot of food hidden in Liu Yao's house. As soon as these news spread, many people arrived at their house with weapons. They started banging on the door, shouting to bring out all the food, but Liu Yao and his family flatly refused to give the food and instead started hurling abuses at the people standing outside. This completely enraged the crowd. Several people decided together that they would take turns to they will break their door. All around, day and night, the sound of knocking on the door echoed. Finally, after 4 days, their main door broke. The crowd entered the house and took away all the remaining food. The whole family sat on the ground and began to cry bitterly. Now they had nothing left to eat, and they couldn't survive the last few months of the apocalypse in any condition. The entire society outside was ruined while I was comfortably enjoying life on my small farm. I was so comfortable that I had gained almost 5 kilograms. Finally, the day I had been waiting for many years arrived. A notification came on my mobile that the rain had stopped. After many years, the sun pierced through the dark clouds and spread its golden rays on the earth, and the light of hope returned to the world. At that time, I was loosening the soil of the cornfield on my farm when suddenly a strange change began in my body. My shrunken body quickly returned to its original size. Now I had become a normal human again. The entire small farm and small house under my feet now looked like toys. I looked towards my ruined real house and was astonished. Only my body had returned to its original size. The rest of the farm, house, and all the reduced things was still in that small size. Perhaps the rules of the enlarging and shrinking system were different. After all, it wasn't easy to fully understand something as mysterious as the system. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window and started looking outside. Years later, the people who escaped death were coming out of their homes one by one. Friends, this is where our story completely ends today. If you like this story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so that you continue to receive such amazing manhwa and story recaps first. Please be sure to share your opinion about the story in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. We will meet again with another new and amazing story. Until then,